And Bryce White takes a seat on the bench.
Well, if you can get another 21 out of him here in the second half.
Well, he had that 44-point output against Portland on Wednesday. Unfortunately, the Portland team scored 111 to Chemeketa's 106. So there's two parts of the ball game. You've got to stop somebody to win the game.
Yeah.
Schlegel sends it back out. And a travel. And there is Kirschbaum, and he really affects a lot of shots, whether he blocks them or not.
Exactly. Just his presence inside there is intimidating.
And Kirschbaum, the scoring leader for the Titans in that first half, he's shown us some range.
Yeah, he had 14 in that first half, averaging about 17 a game.
Baker looked like he took an extra step there, but no call. Atkinson, as you said, Larry, with that great start.
Ilovide's pass there.
And Satley has been impressive for the Titans as well. Now he tries a three-pointer, comes up short. Baker with a rebound. Brazil trying to stop Baker. That's not going to work very well. But you got to give Brazil credit for trying.
He was just in the wrong place, wrong time. And Baker just, you know, he doesn't look like he's a typical basketball player, you know, but he gets the job done, shoots the ball very well, missed that free throw, but he's, you know.
Atkinson cut off, unable to shoot the three-pointer.
There's good ball movement.
Ewell was traveling.
Second, actually third turnover in a row here for Chemeketa as they're having trouble getting good looks here in this first minute or two of the second half.
And when you have those bright green shoes on, the referee's going to see that travel. There's Baker. Baker can't get that one to go down.
He wanted the foul.
Atkinson catch and shoot. Will not stay down. Schlegel, nice rebound. A hook shot will not stay down either. And Baker with good rebound position.
Atkinson was floating a little bit on that one. When he gets his feet set and shoots it in rhythm on balance, boy, he is deadly. But he was floating a little bit on that one and missed it.
Lawrence comes in the ball game. Schlegel goes out. The foul was on number 42, Jordan Ewell. That's his second. Satley with a spin move, lost the ball, got it back. And gets the shot to go down. Wow. Alex Satley out of Lincoln High School in Portland, 6'3" guard, the leading scorer for the Lane Titans. And he would not be denied.
Well, it's not going to take Coach 4.5 minutes during the second half to get Bryce White back in as he's coming in right now.
Timeout, 18 minutes, 3 seconds to go. Our score, Chemeketa 52 and Lane 47. Again, Chemeketa, one of 4 teams battling for 3 playoff spots, get a chance to go to the NWAC tournament, which will be held March 1st to the 4th at the Toyota Center in Kennewick. The Storm men, last year's NWAC champions. And Larry, we had a great time watching that team. They had a very different team than we're seeing here tonight for the Storm. A bunch of small guys who could really shoot it.
Yeah, really shoot it. And they were very balanced last year, too. Yes, they had a couple of first-team all-conference players, but they had the team balance all the way through. Even the 3 or 4 guys coming in off the bench, it's a good score, and that was a fun team to watch.
Satley with the 3-point play, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Let's see what this timeout did for him.
They got Bryce White on the floor, so that was a good timeout. White with a jumper, be a little bit short. Kirchbaum matched up against Lawrence. Can't get that one to go. Ewell with a rebound. He's on the run.
That's good defense that time by Lawrence, keeping him off that low block.
And Lawrence at 6'4", good defense on one end and then scores on the other. Again, Kirchbaum matched up with Lawrence.
You got White coming underneath with the foul. Good help. Must have got a piece of the hand as he was going up. Here it is on the drive. Wow.
2 shots for Kirchbaum.
He looks like a better than a 70% free throw shooter to me.
Westfall from the corner, off the mark. White with a rebound.
Wow.
Not a good pass. The Storm fortunate.
I'm not sure what they were running there or what they were trying to do, but that was not very good offense.
Not headed towards the basket.
No, no, that was throwing lobs over on the sideline. I don't know.
Brazil for 3. Off the iron. Westfall with a rebound and a putback in the right place at the right time.
Maybe that'll get Westfall going a little bit just to see the ball go in the hole.
And White goes down hard. Ewell will take it all away.
Good pass. That's a good take there. He just took it as hard as he could right to the hole. And got up before Kirchbaum had time to block it.
Inside to Kirchbaum. The fadeaway. And he is so smooth. Lawrence gets it to go down. Little hook shot over the big guy. And the lead back up to 9 for the Storm. They led by 9 at the end of the first half.
Got to be able to put a couple stops together here. 2 or 3 stops will do wonders for you.
Satley. And Alex Satley has been impressive tonight, along with Kirchbaum for Lane. White, again, White finds himself in the open space, calmly puts up the jumper, that mid-range jumper. A lot of players are either three-point shooters or in close, but he can do it all.
He can. I mean, and it looks effortless.
And there's Kirchbaum. Talk about being able to do it all. But you said they needed to stop, and they didn't get it, so Lane playing hard. And there is the ball knocked out of bounds, and it will be Chemeketa basketball.
Fresh troops back in.
And the Storm need to string together some stops and some baskets to get this crowd back in the ballgame. They're pretty quiet. Schlegel has no place to go. Christian will try to take it at the big guy.
Christian had a good first half. He had 5 assists in that first half.
And Schlegel with the left hand. Chemeketa with 10 assists in that first half. And that's a number coaches like to see.
Yep.
Satley with a spin. Comes up short, but the ball tipped out and recovered by Baker. Into Kirchbaum. And Ewell picks up the foul.
here it is. Wow. I don't know about that.
The foul was called on Christian, and I didn't see any contact there at all.
He's still talking to the official about it, grinning a little bit. I don't know. Almost looked like Kirchbaum just kind of tripped over his own self. Now, he's been short on his last couple free throws, and they haven't looked quite as good as the first few he shot.
And he looks like his conditioning is not quite where it needs to be. But then he comes back and sinks the second. And another turnover, and Coach Abderhalden can only scratch his head on that one.
Yeah, that was sloppy.
And we've talked about Chemeketa's problems defensively, and a lot of that is just losing focus.
Yeah.
Three-pointer won't go down for Goods. Bryce White, blocking foul. And
He's
White,
so good at changing pace and slithering through the narrowest of gaps. That time it didn't. Here he comes. Didn't look like there was anything there, but yet he was able to get through that little narrow gap and pick up a foul.
White gets the first free throw to go down. A 6'5" freshman out of Benson Tech in Portland. Teammate of Jordan Ewell's at Benson Tech. Pretty good players coming out of Benson Tech over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Ackerman comes in the ball game and White comes out.
Those four high schools up there in that PIL, Benson, Wilson, Jefferson, and Grant. You combine those players that came out of those four schools, and you could make up a pretty good college, or in some cases professional team. The Damian Stottlemeyers and the Ray Rosses and some of those guys.
Kirchbaum with the finger roll. He doesn't have very far to go when he finger rolls it.
No, he doesn't.
Gets right up to the rim. Christian managed to save it. Schlegel.
Good move.
Schlegel going to that left hand effectively. And the Storm maintaining that 9-point advantage. Satley for three. Can't get it to go down, and the ball will go to Chemeketa as Alex Ferry out of South Salem High School, number 34, now in the ball game for the Storm. Christian open for three, off the mark. And the ball out of bounds off of Ferry.
Yeah, you could tell that when he released it that it was offline.
Satley off the iron this time. Good rebound by Schlegel. Lobbed into Schlegel. Schlegel in one motion puts it in the bucket. The assist from Ferry.
Nice high-low there as the opposite post Ferry came up to the high post, got the ball, and made a nice entry pass over the top.
Into Kirchbaum.
Too close. If you're going to front Kirchbaum, you got to have more ball pressure on the passer. Otherwise, he's going to pick you apart.
Christian, where is he going to go? He's going to travel.
Now, that's about 4 or 5 times tonight where guys have penetrated with the idea of taking it to the hoop and saw the big guy in there and ended up turning it over.
McCants taken away by Ferry. Ferry to the basket. How about Alex Ferry?
Yeah, South Salem High.
Doesn't get a whole lot of playing time, but having a good game here tonight. And there's a steal by Christian. Christian over to Ackerman. Ackerman back to Ferry. Atkinson for three. Little short. And the putback by Schlegel.
Timeout.
And Lane is going to have to call timeout with 10 minutes, 1 second to go. Our score, Chemeketa 74 and Lane 61.
Biggest lead of the night, 13 points as they finally got it over that double digits.
Chemeketa led by 9 at the end of the first half after starting off slowly, and Bryce White has not played as many minutes as normally tonight, but anytime you have him on the floor, he's always a threat to score.
Yeah, and if they can extend that lead, here's that steal by Ferry. In the right place at the right time. They push it up. And I think they end up getting it inside to Ferry. Or on the baseline, he takes it to the hole and double pumps, gets the big guy up in the air and finishes it. Good sequence there from Mr. Ferry.
Ferry out of South Salem High School, and of course the South Salem Saxon boys winning the Central Valley Conference Championship. The South Salem girls winning the girls championship as well. And the Central Valley Conference tournaments will be next week with the girls on Tuesday night and the boys on Wednesday night. And there's a shot by Atkinson.
And the offensive rebound. Schlegel in the right place. Easy tip for a 13-point lead. Now's the time where you've got to have that killer instinct. Now, this is a do-or-die game. You cannot allow Lane to hang around. That's a good start. Get the ball back on a 5-second call, but here's where if the Storm are going to go on even beyond tonight, they've got to be able to play defense and make some stops.
Bryce White back in the ball game along with Ewell. Ackerman for three, that's off the mark. But Ewell gets the ball back. Ackerman takes it right at Kirchbaum. Ewell comes up with a loose ball. Another block for Kirchbaum. And I think this will go against Ferry.
Yeah. Well, it was a good effort going for that loose ball. They already had 2 offensive rebounds. They had 3 shots at it and couldn't score. But like we're talking about, here's where you got to get down and stop somebody.
16 foul on the Storm. Timeout for Lane. And what do you say, Larry? You don't ever want to find yourself trapped on that sideline.
Well, you're double teamed on the sideline. You're really triple teamed because the sideline is a 3rd defender. You can't go that way. You can't pass that way. So it's really the worst possible place you could be. I guess the only worst place
be
would
in the corner, maybe.
In the dead corner where you've got 2 boundaries, you know, and then 2 defenders. But yeah, if you're gonna throw the ball there, or you're gonna dribble ball there, don't pick it up.
9 minutes, 19 seconds to go. Our score, Chemeketa 74 and Lane 61. Again, the Storm at 8-5 along with Mount Hood, and Southwestern Oregon at 9-4 along with Clackamas. So we've got 4 teams trying to get those 3 playoff spots and get a chance to go to the tournament in Kennewick. Ewell called for hanging on to Kirchbaum, and this has not really been Ewell's night.
No, and that's 17th foul already with 9:18 to go in the game, and Lane's going to be shooting free throws the rest of the night.
And Zach Kirchbaum from Las Vegas, Nevada, 6'10" sophomore, shown us a lot tonight.
And that was a bailout too, as they had the 5-second call was just about ready to go off, and they let him off the hook and give him 2 free throws. It wasn't a good pass either. It was a Hail Mary up in the air, but you foul him and put him at the line, that's the worst thing you can do.
Kirchbaum with a couple of free throws, and it's an 11-point deficit now for Lane.
Lane picking up the pressure a little bit, some double teams.
Ferry will get a chance to go to the line, and Alex Ferry, he's only 6'3", but he's gone inside a couple of times now.
Well, he's not a shooter. If I remember when he played at South Salem, he's not going to shoot it from outside. He's a post inside player, but he's doing a good job of getting the big guy up in the air and then drawing the foul. And I think you can probably see his free throw, not very pretty. So he's not a guy that's going to go out there and shoot threes on you.
Third foul though on Kirchbaum. Ferry gets 1 for 2.
Well, that was a good little run for him. He doesn't see a lot of playing time, but he made the most of his time in there. Got a couple rebounds, scored some points, steal.
Ferry has played only 31 minutes coming into tonight's ball game.
Yeah, so that was a good run for him.
McCants comes up short, and Bryce White with a rebound, and he's off and running.
He's had a quiet second half, has White.
Westfall.
That rim down there is a little bit loose, isn't it?
We've seen a couple of times where that ball has bounced around and gone down, hung up on the rim.
Ooh, look at this mismatch.
McCants can't finish the first time, but gets it the second. White passes up the shot over to Brazil.
Well, it worked out pretty well, but that's one of few times that you're going to see Mr. White pass up that shot.
And he was wide open.
He really was. You usually don't see him not ready to catch and shoot, but that time he was off guard a little bit.
Kirschbaum.
Too easy.
Not much that Lawrence can do.
No, they got him on a switch, that screen and roll, and they switched it. And by the time he could get back on the roll, he was way too deep.
Brazil open again.
2 in a row. Nope.
Ewell tries to save it, and Goods comes up with a basketball. Blocking foul. Okay.
Let's see that one again.
I don't think Brazil wants to see that again.
Huh.
Kevin Brazil.
We obviously have a different angle than what the official had, but I think that was charge.
Looked to be to me, but it was called a foul. And Goods misses a shot. There's Baker.
Goaltending.
Give him an A for effort, but 2 points to Lane. Westfall. This time it will not go down. And his shot just seems to be a little bit off the mark.
Yeah. It's a strange looking release in the first place.
Brazil with a steal. White lost it. And Goods. And Sadly, my goodness.
He's got some athleticism.
And Bryce White.
Well, that was a big three there as they had cut it to 10. Had a little momentum going.
And it's Alex Sadly again. Off balance, gets it to hang on the rim. You got to check those rims. Brazil will not stay down. Westfall comes up with a loose ball. White. And a nice jump hook by Lawrence. And he's got the springs to get over the top.
Yeah, with that jump hook.
If he took it right at him, he wouldn't make it.
No, that jump hook's hard to block.
Goods as it roll off the rim. White with that mid-range jump shot. Nothing but net.
Just so smooth.
And again, you see a lot of guys that can shoot from three, a lot of guys who can go inside, but he can do it all.
Yep, he really can. Takes it to the rim, has that mid-game, and shoots it from deep.
And Kirschbaum on the other end, but he doesn't have quite the support that White does with the Storm.
He's, you know, he plays a lot of minutes, and we've mentioned a couple times he looks like he's wearing down a little bit, but they don't take him out much.
Sadly on the move. Sadly comes up short. Got to use that backboard. Timeout, 4 minutes, 28 seconds to go. Our score, Chemeketa 88 and Lane 75. The Storm looking to get into the NWAC playoffs, and also they'd kind of like to avenge that loss on January 25th to Lane by 3 points.
I don't think they called a timeout. I think it was just substitute.
Sadly, he's got a little jump hook shot too. He's shown a lot here tonight.
He really has.
Christian to White. White sends it back out. Westfall drives to the middle and is bailed out with a foul.
Well, that's the second or third time tonight I've seen penetration by one of the Chemeketa players and two guys to pass it to, and they'll pass up the worst of the two shooters and find the best outside shooter to shoot it, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. You're usually taught to first open man gets the ball. But you could just see White was, wow. He's dancing all over the place. I think that part of this shooting slump, we're talking about Westfall here, is got so much movement. It's hard to be consistent when you're moving your head and your feet and everything's moving like that.
Baker. Dale Baker got that unusual shot, but he's been effective tonight. And McCants picks up his fourth foul. Timeout, Chemeketa, 3 minutes, 37 seconds to go. Our score, Chemeketa on top of Lane.
Well, if you're Chemeketa right now with 3:37 to go and a 9-point lead, it's, you know, you can slow it down a little bit and use most of the shot clock. The key is you've got to get a good look every time. No turnovers, and You got to make sure you get a good look, run most of the clock down, get a good look. As well as they shoot the ball, they almost shoot 50% on the year. You know, it should be enough to win if you can get a good look every time and come down and play just a little bit of defense and make a few stops.
And Chemeketa with 8 team fouls, Lane with only 4, so you also want to avoid sending Lane to the free throw line and stopping that clock.
Yeah. And the clock is your friend right now if you're Chemeketa.
Glad you could join us on Capital Community Television. John Piper, Larry Garr, and Larry will be working with Mark Gilman next week at the boys Central Valley Conference Tournament. So always great to see Mark, and we'll probably be sharing another table at that event.
Yeah, we're going to be over at South Salem. A championship game this year. It's the South Salem Saxons and McKay Royal Scots. Probably the 2 teams that most people at the beginning of the league season thought would be there.
Christian is fouled from behind. I think this will be on Baker.
Oh. Fortunate call there. Here it is. You can't really see the foul. They call it from behind just before Christian would have got a charge.
Christian averaging just under 3 points a ball game and only a 48% free throw shooter. But that looked pretty good. Probably doesn't shoot that many.
Well, nothing wrong with either one of those.
Maybe he's 1 for 2 or something like that before this game. When you don't shoot very many and you miss a couple, that's going to affect your percentage.
Yeah.
Ackerman back in the ball game for the Storm. Beautiful pass, but and it's saved. Ewell with a save.
All right, here's where you pull it out, run some clock. Or not.
If you're Bryce White.
I guess if you can do that, you take it to the hole.
And what a nice soft touch off the backboard. Got up high, banked it in. Nothing the defender could do about it. And there's a block by White and a save. And that's something you don't see by Chemeketa very often.
No, but White had a good angle on that.
Westfall for 3, off the iron. Ewell with the rebound, tries to save it.
So run some clock. You got a second chance here now.
Christian again with no place to go. Gets it to Ewell this time. 3-pointer by Westfall. And Adam Westfall connects from long range. Storm approaching that 100 mark here with 2 minutes to go. Chemeketa averaging about 97 points a ball game, so this is a typical game for them.
Yeah.
Satley.
He hit hard. Boy, he's got some springs, doesn't he?
And some quickness.
Yes. You can see why he's their leading scorer. Watch this. Little spin move, little hook. Could have been called. Wow.
Ackerman with the foul.
Went down hard.
And Satley gets the first to go down. 79% free throw shooter coming in tonight, so.
He's their leading scorer, just about 19 a game.
And misses the second. And Paul Vetras, number 22, in the ball game for his first action. Ewell comes up short, rebounded by Baker. And Bryce White got a hand on it, knocked it out of bounds. Sadly, the
Wow.
step back. He's probably going to play some basketball somewhere else
I
after
would
Lane.
I would think so.
Has a great variety of shots.
And like you said, he's got the quickness and the explosiveness that he could play at that next level.
Storm running the shot clock down. Ewell tries to take it to Kirschbaum, and he gets fouled this time. Foul number 4 on Kirschbaum.
Well, it looks like this do-or-die game, Chemeketa is going to live for another night. Now, when's that tournament start? Is that next
Tournament
weekend?
starts March 1st. And it's held at the Toyota Center in Kennewick, Washington. They have both the men and the women play there. It used to be in the old days, if you won the league, you'd get a chance to host the tournament. But now they hold it each year up in Kennewick. Westfall with the foul. And that, again, is Satley, and he's not afraid to take it at anybody.
No, he isn't. Very aggressive.
Satley at 6'3", pretty good size for a guard. And jumping ability, shooting ability.
Got to be a disappointing season for Lane. They're normally in that top 4. They've made a lot of trips to that tournament.
Couple of free throws for Satley. 33 seconds to go, and the Storm will improve to 9-5 in league play. Final night of the NWAC regular season. Ewell lost the ball. It was apparently tipped away. Now it's just a matter to let the clock run down, and it's nice to see the Lane Titans are not committing those fouls that just drive me crazy when the game is well out of hand. And the Chemeketa Storm defeat the Lane Titans. Our final score, Chemeketa 98 and Lane 85. And the Storm got off to that slow start, but once White got in the ball game, things turned around. The Storm leading by 9 at the end of the first half, and convincing win. And Lane certainly not the best season for them, but they had a lot of weapons, just not quite enough to handle the Storm.
Well, the 98 points is less than a point over their average for the season, as they average, the Chemeketa Storm, they averaged 97.36, so they had an extra half a point there.
Once again, our final score, the Chemeketa Storm 98, the Lane Titans 85. We'll be back with our post-game report right after this.